Hello, our presentation is on Baker v. Carr, 1962. Our team members are Megha Lakhani, Palomi Savaya, and Suhani Vasoya. So, to start off, the issue begins with the state of Tennessee. Tennessee had not redrawn its legislative districts in over 60 years. During this time, the urban populations began to grow a lot faster than rural areas. This ultimately gave rural voters more voting power because they were overrepresented compared to the urban voters. Tennessee had been negligent to redraw the districts because the question of redistricting was not constitutional to question or to change.
Charles Baker was a Tennessee citizen that petitioned the court arguing that there was an unequal distribution of representatives in Tennessee districts. His argument is justified with the 14th Amendment and the Equal Protection Clause, saying that states cannot deny equal protection or representation to citizens, which seem to be happening with the unequal division of districts. Our first question is what encouraged Baker to petition against the court?
Joe Carr was the defendant, and he was sued by Baker as his position as Secretary of State because there was unfair district apportionment. Carr argued the court doesn't attain the power to rule on the subject matter at hand, which was the redrawing of districts, basically saying that the matter was political, not judicial. In other words, at this time, courts couldn't rule on the political matters because it's not their job. They are apolitical. Our next question is, which clause was used to justify Baker's argument and why?
In the final ruling, the Supreme Court said the issue of redistricting was in fact justiciable. The court justified this with the 14th Amendment because it was essentially denying the residents of Tennessee equal protection and equal representation under the Equal Protection Clause. This declared the Supreme Court to have authority to rule on questions of legislative reapportionment or redistricting.
The Chief Justice of this case was Earl Warren, and the final vote count was 6-2 in favor of Baker.
Our next question is, in what way did this case affect the way states draw their districts?
The importance of this case was that it established the foundation of the one person, one vote doctrine. This doctrine requires districts to be drawn accordingly based on population size to assure equal representation. This fundamentally altered political representation across the United States and forced many southern states to redraw their districts in order to make sure that the rural votes did not have more power than the urban vote.
It also showed that the political question doctrine didn't prohibit matters of reapportionment to be questioned. It also opened up the possibility for more politically charged questions to be brought before the court. Our last question is, what is the one person, one vote doctrine? Thank you for listening. Now it's game time.
Kapang!